ELI 5. How did pepper come to be the default table seasoning along with salt? Exactly the same thing that happened to vanilla and ice, just for different reasons. From time immemorial up through the high medieval period, black pepper, Piper nigrum, along with its close cousin long pepper, Piper longum, were widely used in Europe as spices. Long pepper was actually preferred in ancient Rome, as it has a slightly milder, spicier and more varied flavor profile, but black pepper came to predominate after Rome's fall. Portugal, for example, made inordinate amounts of money from having essentially a total monopoly on the trade of spices by sea, though this monopoly was later taken by the English and Dutch. Because it was so expensive to ship it to Europe, black pepper was symbolic of being very, very wealthy. Not only could you afford to spice your food, but you could do it with something so piquant and rare. Having done a little more research, it appears long pepper is also somewhat harder to grind up than black pepper, which might have played a factor in the switch. As pepper production rose and shipping costs decreased during the tail end of the medieval period and early Renaissance, black pepper price per unit fell, although pepper remained an extremely valuable trade commodity because volume went up faster than price went down. As a result, a flavor that was once synonymous with the lap of luxury became accessible for the nascent middle class, those who weren't independently wealthy but who had some disposable income. As a result, having pepper available for your guests was a subtle sign of high culture, much like how pineapples used to be rented so people could show off their wealth for being able to own a fruit that was so expensive to acquire in Europe. Fast forward to the modern day, and now something that was once the exclusive domain of the very rich is now, functionally, extremely cheap. Volume can't really go up anymore, but production continued to rise, meaning price has fallen dramatically over time. Vanilla went through a very similar journey, going from incredibly expensive and associated with only the ultra rich, to being near universal and even, IMO quite unfairly mischaracterized as the boring basic flavor compared to other things. More or less, both vanilla and pepper held onto their "it's so luxurious" associations for many decades after they ceased to be fantastically ultra expensive, which meant that it was a way for folks to show off their disposable income and thus socioeconomic status. Once the link to socioeconomic status had faded, these things, pepper, vanilla, various others, were so widespread and there was sufficient demand that they continued to be offered, even though the original social reason is gone. We continue to eat lots of pepper because it's what we're used to eating, and because many recipes call for it.